Hello students, this is Amivaria, Assistant Professor of Microbiology from the Department of Microbiology at LG Institute of Applied Sciences. Welcome to the world of basic microbiome. Here we are going to discuss the topic bacterial growth measurement methods by measuring the cell mass. In the previous series of our microbial growth study, we have already discussed about bacterial growth measurement methods by measuring the cell number. And today we are going to discuss the methods for measurement of bacterial growth by cell mass. Our topic is from SYBSc Semester 3 syllabus of Gujarat University from the core paper 201 Microbiology, Microbial Physiology, Unit 4 Microbial Growth. Our topic is methods for bacterial growth measurement by cell mass measurement. As we know what is growth, growth is a balanced increase in the all cellular constituents including cell number and cell mass. As the growth confers, the bacterial cell mass and cell number both are increases into the optimal conditions. Which optimal conditions? They are optimal growth medium and optimal incubation conditions that leading the good growth of bacteria. For determination of cell mass, the growth results into the synthesis of new cellular material. That results into the increase into the cell mass. That's why the methods used for determination of the cell mass, they can be useful for the measurement of growth. Each and every bacterial cell that contains a specific amount of the cellular mass, so it can be useful to find out the probable number of bacterial cells present into the growth culture. Now the criteria used for the determination of cell mass. Each and every cell that possesses the specific chemical composition, dry weight, as well as the cellular volume. That cellular volume is generally packed cell volume. The different criteria that used for determination of the cell mass is, first of all them is determination of cellular nitrogen and protein content. Second one is determination of cellular nucleic acid content. Nucleic acid, they are DNA and RNA content. Third, the determination of cellular phosphorus and sulfur content. Fourth, determination of dry weight of bacterial cell. Fifth, determination of packed cell volume, that is PCV. And last one is determination by turbidometric method, that is spectrophotometry and nephelometry methods. Now, first of all, determination of cellular nitrogen and protein content. Each and every bacterial cell that contains fixed portion of nitrogen and protein content into the bacterial cell. For determination of that elements into the bacterial cell, they are first harvested. Bacterial cells, they are first harvested, then washed, and they are then used for quantitative determination of cellular nitrogen, phosphorus, protein, and sulfur. Microgelidal method, that is used for measurement of cellular nitrogen. This method is very laborious and it is not used for routine cell mass determination. The next method that used for protein determination, which is present into the bacterial cell, that is Pauling-Lowry's method or biuret method, both methods, they are specific for determination of cellular protein. This is the basic structure of nitrogen and protein. Now, determination of cellular nucleic acid content. The nucleic acid, DNA and RNA both are present into the bacterial cell. Each bacterial cell nucleic acid, DNA and RNA content, they can be quantitatively measured by spectrophotometric method. The estimation of DNA and RNA can be useful criteria for measurement of cell mass. This is the basic structure of double-stranded DNA and single-stranded RNA. Third method, determination of cellular phosphorus and sulfur content. Rather than carbon and nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus, they are also the important elements present into the bacterial cell. They are present in very less amount and in the very specific amount into the bacterial cell. The chemical estimation of cellular sulfur and phosphorus, they can be useful to measure the cell mass. They both can be measured by the routine analysis, quantitative analysis methods. Now, the determination of dry weight of cell. When the cell population is in the less or in the dense amount, at that time, this method for dry weight of cell measurement that can be used. In this method, the cells, they are first of all separated from the culture media by centrifugation, and then by centrifugation or by filtration. Then the filtered cells, they are washed thoroughly for 3 to 4 times, and then they are dried in the oven at 50 to 55 degrees Celsius temperature. Then the dry weight of the cell is determined. The dry weight measurement of the cells, that may not be the indicative of the living matter which is present into the culture. Next method, determination of packed cell volume, PCV. Bacterial cell belongs to the particular species that has the specific volume. Increase into the cell mass and cell number, that results into the overall increase into the cellular volume and cellular mass. So the methods for determination of cellular volume of bacteria, they can be used for measurement of growth. PCV can be measured by centrifugation of fixed amount of growth culture, and then settled cell mass is measured as the packed cell volume. Last method for determination of cell mass, that is determination by turbidometric method, that is done by both spectrophotometry as well as nephelometry. This is the pathway of spectrophotometer, how the bacterial cells can be measured by placing here, and then the path length of the light, how it measures the bacterial cell mass. This is nephelometric method. The optical method is the another method that is for measurement of cell mass by observation of turbidity that resulting due to the growth into the broth culture. When the beam of the light that allowed to pass through the suspension of the bacteria, the particles coming from the path of the light that causing the scattering and absorption of the light depending upon the cellular density as per the Beard's and Lambert's law. We are knowing the spectrophotometer and nephelometer, they both are working on the principle of Beard's and Lambert's law. that is dependent on path length and the viscosity of the medium. So the amount of the light transmitted through the culture suspension that is getting reduced. The reduction in the amount of the transmitted light that is dependent upon the cell density as well as the cell mass present into the culture suspension. It is measured as percent transmission or the optical density OD, that is known as OD, by use of photoelectric colorimeter or spectrophotometer or the densitometer. The optical density OD, that is oftenly measured at 540 nanometer wavelength of the light into the spectrophotometer. Why? Because it is the wavelength of the light absorption by the medium that will be maximum, and hence it will give the more correct value of the OD of the bacterial suspension. The another method for measurement of the cell density by applying the same principle is the nephelometer. Nephelometer that does not measure the transmitted light passing through the culture suspension, but it is measuring the intensity of the light that's scattered by the bacterial cell particles. The advantages and disadvantages of the methods of cell mass for measurement of bacterial growth. First is the cell mass measurement by turbidometric method is most convenient and reliable. The cell mass determination by cellular nitrogen, protein, sulfur, nucleic acid, and phosphorus that has only the academic value. In the routine, these methods are complex and they are impractical, and the medium constituents may interfere during the estimation process. This method that provides the information about the total cell mass for both living as well as non-living cells. These are the references which I have used for this topic preparation. Thank you.